So after Rome refused to let the Ocean Viking dock, France said it would suspend its plans to take in 3,000 migrants who had arrived in Italy. For more, let's speak to Judith Sunderland from Human Rights Watch. Thank you for speaking to France 24. First of all, you're an expert in migration and asylum policy. What are the obligations of the European states when it comes to rescuing migrants?
Well, obviously, it's a very good thing that France finally assigned a safe port for the people aboard Ocean Viking, and Italy was clearly in the wrong when it denied the ship the right to dock and disembark all of the people that they had rescued, as it was wrong to, at first, only allow some of the people to disembark from two other rescue ships. What we've seen over the past number of years is an abdication part of the entire EU for its responsibilities for saving lives at sea. And that's why, thankfully, we have rescue organizations like SOS Méditerranée, which operates Ocean Viking, out there doing this vital work.
Yeah, but it's not the only ship out there in the waters, is it? And France did allow the Ocean Viking to dock, but it took some time. I mean, Spain, Greece, Malta, Italy, these countries refused to let these ships carrying hundreds, at some point close to thousands of people, to disembark. I mean, at what point do the governments need to be held more accountable?
Well, that time has come and gone. We've seen this played out over the years of these impasses, standoffs, people essentially trapped at sea as governments squabble over where they can be disembarked and who will ultimately take responsibility for their asylum claims and other claims to remain in the EU. It goes to the larger, very divisive issue in the EU about how to best share in an equitable way responsibility for people who reach the EU in search of safety and greater opportunities. This is an issue that so far EU governments have failed to agree on. And unfortunately, this latest spectacle has led to France freezing its pledge to take over 3,000 people from Italy under the most recent effort to create some kind of mechanism to relocate people out of Italy who have arrived by sea. And what I really want to most emphasize here is that the people who are paying the price for this inability of EU governments to agree and to step up and take responsibility are the people themselves, the women, children, and men on these boats.
Yeah, and can you tell us more about them? What are migrant arrivals like this year? Are they expected to pick up in the coming months? What's the situation like?
Well, Italy is saying that around 90,000 people have arrived so far in Italy by sea. Now, the vast majority of those people have arrived either on their own, in other words, they have made it with their boats on their own to Italian shores, or they have been rescued by other vessels. And actually, a very small portion of them, around 14%, have been rescued by NGOs.
And yeah, this comes after an arduous a journey, a life-threatening journey in these waters. But once they actually are rescued by these NGO ships, what sort of mental state are they in?
Well, I mean, you have to imagine that these are people who are, this is like the last part of what is often a years long journey from their country of origin, sometimes crossing deserts, walking for days, even weeks. Many of them have experienced horrific abuse in Libya, including arbitrary detention, extortion, torture, sexual violence. And as many of them are trying to flee Libya as they are trying to reach a place of safety in Europe. And they do that through these absolutely harrowing journeys on the Mediterranean Sea in overcrowded, unseaworthy boats that could sink at any moment. It doesn't take much to imagine the mental anguish that they are going through, which is only accentuated by being forced to remain on these ships and denied a place of safety.
This bilateral row between France and Italy will take center stage when EU foreign ministers meet next week. Judith, with Italy's new government, are you worried that what we're seeing play out currently is going to be the new normal and this will happen again and again?
Well, we were worried before the elections. We became terrified once the election results were clear. And it comes, unfortunately, as absolutely no surprise that they have taken the very first opportunity to use migrants and refugees as pawns for political gain and as leverage with other EU countries. So, yes, I do fear that this could recur. And what it will take is for other EU countries and the European Commission to take a very clear line with Italy and Malta. Let's not forget Malta's responsibilities here as well, to live up to their duties to get out there and rescue people at sea and ensure that those who are rescued by other vessels, including NGOs, are given very promptly a place to disembark.
Judith, thank you very much for your time and your analysis. Judith Sunderland from Human Rights Watch.